And we will start in a couple of minutes. And I really suggest whoever is here and not just, and the camera is closed, at least for the beginning, open your cameras when you can. I think this is the most exciting part of this format of seeing everybody from all over the world and saying hi, connecting. And Luis Galagos, I had a great meeting today with somebody who you will be very interested in meeting, with a great report for aging. Yeah. So, so I'll make the connection. She's translating it, and I'll talk to Zero Project also. Maybe we'll squeeze her in. Hey there.
Very well.
Yeah.
We have a very good panel for in Zero Project on aging.
Amazing.
A keynote on the issue. So we will be very grateful for any contribution and help and guidance from all of you. Daniela and the rest, please, any suggestions are more than welcome.
Perfect.
Hello, Luis.
And Michal, I recognize the place you're sitting at the Philanthropy House.
And you know the place.
Save me the seat next to you. Daniela, you're coming this year?
I'm alone today.
You're coming to Zero Project this year, Daniela?
The department changed a teeny bit the policy in terms of expenses for travel. So I think there will be other opportunities.
Okay, we're working on March, so we'll talk. Very good. Okay, we are going to start in a minute. You can start. There are people in the. Okay.
Hello, Daniela from up the block in Manhattan.
Hi.
How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. At least we don't have any issues in terms of travel. We're in the same island, on the same island.
That's right. I probably don't have to turn on the Zoom to hear you.
Right, exactly. Just look outside, open the window and you can say, oh.
The Honorable Brendan Ward. Good to see you too.
Hello, Jamie. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Cheers.
Jamie, you didn't tell me he speaks Hebrew, by the way.
Oh my God.
Sure.
He speaks Hebrew, he sings Hebrew, he plays Hebrew. He's more Hebrew than I am.
Okay, guys, we are going to begin. So we're starting to bring people in. Feel more than comfortable to say hi to whoever you see popping in until I will say start. Hi to everybody who's joining us now. Very, very happy to see you all. Klaus is in the house. Great. And Howard, and amazing. We're bringing people one by one. And it's always great to see the faces from all over the world. Amazing. So we will give 2 more minutes for everybody who is entering, who is in the waiting room. So bear with us. And we'd love to hear where you're from for now.
While people are knocking at the door, do you know that the meeting where you were also moderator on the 5th of December had something like 1,000 participants?
Amazing.
It was a very nice parterre. So thank you again for moderating panels.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. An amazing event you had there. And we see here, good morning from Regina Cohen from Brazil. Regina, this is the 2 minutes. You can all feel very comfortable. We want to hear your voice.
I'm an architect from Brazil. I work with accessibility. I'm a person with physical disability, moving on wheelchair, and I represent my country in G3 ICT. And this year I'm planning to do Aliyah and go to Israel.
Wow, everything is connecting. Amazing.
Yeah, but I'm doing because I work with physical accessibility, and now I'm doing a course with digital accessibility because maybe it's better in Israel.
Amazing.
Technology in Israel. But the Jewish agency here in Brazil, they don't know anything about accessibility.
So we can talk about that offline. Amazing. We have here people from New York, from Vietnam.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're very, very happy. And you know what? I'm going to do magic and begin quite on time. I think a 2-minute delay is acceptable and understandable. So I would like to really welcome everybody who has joined us and continues to join us to Access Israel's 12th International Webinar. First of all, it feels so good to see you all here. It has been a long time, but we're back. And I can tell you that I was just telling the speakers in the waiting room that in the office, there was a great vibe today because these webinars are really one of our favorites, an opportunity to reach out, no duty-free involved, duty-free shopping in the airport. But other than that, it's the feeling of international, global friendships and connections. And I hope you're all going to love this. I will introduce myself. I am Michal Rimon, the CEO of Access Israel. Always say, Klaus reminds me always to say the proud CEO of Access Israel. And Access Israel, for those who don't know, is promoting global accessibility for people with all types of disabilities and the elderly in all areas of life. Our goal is not accessibility. It's a means to an end. And the goal is true equality and inclusion and really improve the quality of life for people of the largest minority in the world. Before I continue, I would like to mention the accessibility in this event. I'll start by describing myself for those of you with visual disability. Quick description, and I'll ask my speakers to do so also. So I have a blonde brownish hair, and I'm wearing a black shirt with some pattern on it. The background behind me has the logo of Access Israel in white on a dark blue background. And the logo is a head with shoulders with a reflection of it, creating an equal sign, because this is what it's all about today, equality for all. We have American Sign Language provided by Pam Soto and Brianne Katz. Briannan, I see the name is, and you can pin the translators so you can see them while you pin also the speakers if you want to see side by side. We also have Israeli sign language provided by Moran Shriker in the first half of this webinar, and then Anat Landau for the second half. And all the names here are appearing now in the chat, so you can check out and see. Now, there is live captioning in English. You can turn the captioning on at the bottom of the Zoom screen. Click on the CC and you have it. In addition, we have simultaneous translation in Ukraine. We have a very large group from Ukraine joining us, and we're very, very happy to have you guys here. And also simultaneous translation in Hebrew. Again, you can see it and reach it through the interpretation and choose the right language. Now, for all those Hebrew speakers here who need captioning in Hebrew, I invite you to open the Google Doc file in the link appearing right now in the chat and open it in parallel to your Zoom screen. אם אתם דוברי עברית, יש מסמך גוגל דוקס כרגע בלינק שמופיע בצ'אט, תפתחו אותו לצד הזום ותוכלו לראות כתוביות בזמן אמת בעברית. Lastly on this, the webinar is recorded and on Facebook Live for whoever is interested. We will send the recording to whoever registered of the webinar during the month of February, so you can catch up on whatever you missed or just watch us again. Hey, 4 hours, It's worth rewatching. Now, we will repost accessibility arrangements in chat throughout the webinar. So if you missed anything, you can always go back to that. If you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to contact us in the chat box or directly to Shimrit Zik. Shimrit, say hi or just wave your hands. And Shimrit Zik is our great partnership director, and she will be with us during today's webinar. So deep breath, calm down, and welcome to you all. We are very happy to welcome you to our 12th international webinar. Now, for all the newcomers here, you see this strange format of a webinar. Instead of seeing only the panelists, we see you all. Well, this is what today is all about. This is about the community sharing, getting together, and that's why we chose and we continue with this format. Our network is based on participants who are experts, policymakers, technologies, service providers, business representatives, and many, many more. And I think our returning participants and speakers will agree that the true secret of this network is the creation of connections, of friendships, of corporations. We are all in this together. And the beauty is to preserve the connection beyond this webinar. The webinar is not the main thing. The connections that are made through this network is. So if you hear something interesting, you want to hear more, connect, reach out. We want to hear from you. Contact us if you want to correspond later with one of the speakers. Let us know. We will make the connection. Our goal today is to come together, share, remove barriers, and make sure that we promote accessibility and inclusion at the workplace. We all know that on the one hand, inclusive employment has become an issue that globally is rising, and countries are choosing various methods to encourage a more inclusive and diverse workplace. We will learn about some of these solutions today. We also saw how the recent global pandemic has created, lemonade out of the lemon. On the one hand, in many cases, the first ones to be laid off were unfortunately people with disabilities. But on the other hand, the world understood and experienced firsthand how it feels when you cannot physically go to the workplace. And so solutions had to be made. And guess what? Solutions that for years we were told are not possible, all of a sudden, when the majority of us need it, were made possible. New opportunities have been opened for people with disabilities that in the past didn't think they could be included in the workforce. And now they can. But again, every opportunity brings along challenges. We need to understand them, find ways to overcome them. And this is part of what we will hear and talk about today, along with innovative new solutions, tools, and of course, best practices. I'm very excited to tell you that when I wrote these words of opening statement, we were at about 750 people registered, not quite the amount, Daniela, that your amazing webinar was, but I can tell you that since then, registration is continuing. So I'm very, very happy and very thankful to you all for joining. I'm very excited about the number of countries participating here. I think we are just about over 100 countries, which is amazing, especially since some of the countries are countries that never joined before. So again, welcome to you all. At Access Israel, we believe that beyond sharing knowledge, we also have to work collaboratively to achieve the greatest impact. Today's session, as I mentioned, is all about hearing how different organizations are working to promote inclusion in the world of employment. We come together today to hear about the challenges and solutions for inclusive employment. Now, I would like to say one last thing. There is an incredible variety of countries represented here, some of which are countries where accessibility and inclusion are not a given thing. I would like to remind us all, we all have to start somewhere. and if I've learned something in the last decades, is that we can all learn from others, but we can also share and inspire and teach best practices that we have in our country. Doesn't matter how advanced we are or not advanced in accessibility. So remember, every success shared here has to start somewhere. We usually share our successes, not so much our failures that led to those successes. So please switch the mode from this is so far away from where I'm at now to yes, we can. And you know what? Yes, we can together. This time, due to the amazing responses from really some of the best speakers on this subject, we couldn't give up on any one of them. And, you know, I always start by saying this is going to be an hour-and-a-half webinar, and I usually make it 3 hours. Today, we did it, and we have an amazing, incredible 4 hours program. So for your convenience, to make it easier, we have divided it into two. The first part will deal with global strategy and policy in the field of employing people with disabilities, while the second part will focus on best practices and technologies to promote inclusive employment. So if by any chance you cannot stay the whole 4 hours, stay for whatever parts you can, and I'm sure you can catch up later on the recording that we will send you all. So last thing in this introduction is something that is mandatory. And you know what? I do it so happily. Thanks. Thanks, first of all, to our incredible speakers that you're going to hear today. Thanks for our incredible, first of all, friend and sponsor for our webinar series, Google, who we will also hear later on. And finally, thanks to our amazing partners, and first and foremost, our friends, forming together this global dream team of doers. Zero Project, Valuable 500, ILO, International Labor Organization, G3ICT, Open Inclusion, AbilityNet, Accessibility Accelerator, Enable, RU Global, ONCE, IAAP, the Austrian Association for the Blind. Klaus, I'm not going to say the Austrian version, sorry. Billion Strong, and so many more. We couldn't do this without the friendship and the togetherness. So thank you all.